What's going on? We back. Motor City Sports Talk. We in the building. It's your boy CJ Goodfellow with another one. Want to squeeze 2 more videos in today. Also, don't forget we dropped a video this morning talking about the offense of Jim Bob Cooter. So you go back and watch that. But we talking about Kirl Cousins, Michigan State alum, former Redskin quarterback, coming to the NFC North, and how he don't put no fear into the Detroit Lions, and I don't believe put any fear into any other team in the NFC North. I truly believe that. And like I said, this is not like Derek Carr or Tom Brady or Russell Wilson coming to the division. You know what I'm saying? This is the same guy who consistently came up short and didn't win a playoff game in Washington with the Redskins. This is a guy that the Redskins gave up for Alex Smith. And a lot of the Viking fans that I've ran into, like I said, I have nothing against the Vikings. You know, they're a division rival, but I don't hate them like I hate the Bears. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, he just, you know, he gotta, I mean, it's just not, it's no fear. It's no, you know, nobody's really worried like, oh, it's Kirk Cousins coming to the NFC North. Oh, we better draft this guy and draft the pass rush. No. I mean, we historically have whooped on Kirk Cousins. He historically came up small in a lot of the Washington Redskins big games, especially versus Dallas Cowboys. They found some way to lose those games. Remember on Thanksgiving one year, he threw for like 400 or 500 yards and they still came up short. You know, he's just not a winner in big games, and that's been a knock on him. And thus, the Washington Redskins went to Kansas City and got Alex Smith to replace this guy. And that should show you everything you need to know. Like Alex Smith, if they think Alex Smith was an upgrade over Kirk Cousins, I mean, you know, what does Minnesota expect him to do? I understand they, after Case Keenum kind of wet the bed in the NFC Championship game, they wanted to upgrade, and they gave this dude a fully guaranteed contract, and I wonder who they was competing for, you know, for his rights. And we know they got Dalvin Cook coming back. They got the kid that's going to stay from the Raiders, Murray. They got rid of the other kid, McKinney. They got, you know, Thielen. They got, you know, Stephon Diggs. They got Jarius Wright. They got a solid bunch. But the problem is with Minnesota is they blocking, and Case Keenum bailed him out a lot last year with making something with his legs and being elusive with his upper torso and making guys miss and extended plays. And that won't be the case with Minnesota this year. Kirk Cousins is more of a Sam Bradford. He's more mobile, a little bit more mobile than Sam Bradford, but he want to be extending plays. And if they don't have premier blocking up front this year and they don't improve their frontline play, Kirk Cousins is going to resort to being, you know, pick six Cousins, throwing picks all over the field. Especially when you go up against the Chicago Bears and they front seven this year with the 2 Georgia bookends and Raycon Smith and what was it, Leonard Floyd. You know, especially in Detroit, in the way Matt Patricia might scheme it up with Kerry Hyder coming back, Zeke Ansah, Devon Kennard, Alshon Robinson. It won't be no easy pickings. And this is a guy historically who, versus Dallas Cowboys, a division rival, the biggest division rival for the Washington Redskins, came up small. So what do you expect him to come up big versus the Green Bay Packers? And then the expectations and the pressure on Kirk Cousins is very, very high. And he's the type of quarterback where you put him under big pressure or you put him under a lot of pressure, he's a guy that doesn't tend to perform well. So, I mean, with the Dallas Cowboys, he had a terrible year. Do you expect him really to perform well with a fully guaranteed contract? You know, especially when the Vikings went, 12-3? I mean, was it 12-4, 13-3 last year, whatever it was? They had a great record last year. And it's kind of like Clyde Drexler coming to the Houston Rockets, but it's a little bit different because Houston had won the championship the year before, but it was like, you know, Clyde Drexler come and they don't win the championship. He was the only really different piece and people will blame him for messing up a championship team trying to go back-to-back. And with Kirk Cousins, people going to blame him for if he don't at least reach the NFC Championship game with that money, you know, get them over the hump. People going to blame him and say, we should have kept Case Keenum. But the number one point where the fear is not as great. Well, the fear isn't even there for most teams, especially for the Lions, because Kirk Cousins isn't Case Keenum. Kirk Cousins isn't an accomplished quarterback. Kirk Cousins didn't deserve that money by a lot of people's opinion. You know, he's not a guy that's accomplished a lot in this game. He's not a guy that strikes fear in defenses. He's not a guy that people are scared of and can't game plan. He didn't warrant that money. He's not a Derek Carr. He's not a Russell Wilson. He's not a Tom Brady. He's not a Phillip Rivers. You know, some people might put him, you know, beneath Dakota Prescott for the Dallas Cowboys. So, you know, him coming to this division is nothing really changed. You know, and the real big difference is the fact that the Vikings have expectations this year. And with Kirk Cousins getting all that money, the expectations are very, very high, astronomically high. And as soon as he don't cash in on those expectations, as soon as he don't look they make the playoffs, as soon as he throw a pick to lose a game, as soon as they have a rush patch where they lose 1 or 2, you know, the person, you know, he gonna just revert back to being what Kirk Cousins has always been, and that's a mid-grade marginal quarterback that'll be marginalized if he's not in the right situation. You know, and at the end of the day, you know, Minnesota has a good all-around team this year, but it's different from when you sneaking up on people, when you are the predator and you hunting, then when you become the hunted. You know, people are hunting the Minnesota Vikings, especially with this big deal he got. It's going to be a tough year for them. And I think they have a talented bunch over there. They're as talented as any team in the NFC North, top to bottom, offense to defense. But at the end of the day, you know, and people can agree, and the Washington Redskins fans can agree, when push came to shove, you know, Kirk Cousins didn't stand there and be resilient. He blew over and rolled over. And once he can't match with what Case Keenum did last year, and no pressure starts to mount on him, you know, a lot of people don't have to worry about him. You know, he's not going to extend the play. He's not mobile. You know, he's not got the greatest arm. You know, he got a good winning mentality. He's a good, strong guy, but he doesn't put in fear anybody. He don't fear nobody in the NFC North is fearing, you know, Kirk Cousins, and that's up to him to demand that respect. Because if he can't win with the team they got and the window is closing for the Minnesota Vikings, obviously they're going to have some contracts coming up pretty soon. If he can't win with this bunch right now, it's never going to be done. You know, I understand Philly is coming back. You know, they coming back. They the two head honchos of the NFC, and also Atlanta coming back. But what they got defense wise, and the young youth on defense, and what Kirk Cousins had at the helm of the offense, you know, if he don't start cashing in, you know, early on, they don't start winning a lot of football games, expect a meltdown for Kirk Cousins. You know, expect a rough patch. Expect him to revert to some of the things he reverted to with the Redskins. So. Just want to do this video. Like, I'm not worried about the Vikings. As far as if I'm a Packer fan, a Bear fan, a Lion fan, a Seahawks fan, a 49ers fan, a Rams fan, the Eagles, Giants, Saints, whoever. You know, in the NFC, I'm not worried about them. Because I know what Kirk Cousins is capable and not capable of. We out.